No, Burger King does not sell gluten-free chicken nuggets. This movie might be the most relatable film that I have ever seen in my entire life. If anybody has ever worked in either retail, fast food, or dealt with customers, this is going to be the most relatable film that you can ever watch. Like, everything about this film is so on point about what it's like working with customers that I'm just like, why haven't I seen this movie before? This was my first time watching Clerks, and I'm getting prepared for Clerks 3 on Tuesday, so I'm going to be watching Clerks 2 next. But this film was just so relatable in so many ways that it's hard for me to review this film because it's just so it speaks to me as somebody that has worked in retail, call centers, fast food, and has dealt with a lot of stupid and random customers and possibly really annoying customers at that. I'm probably that one annoying customer that everybody sees when I walk through the store. But this film was so investing and so relatable that I didn't know how Kevin Smith was able to do this film, because this film is just entirely set at a convenience store with a little bit side plots here and there where they go to a funeral store or they play hockey on the roof of the grocery store. I think the thing that made this film so smart and so investing is the fact that even if you have never worked in retail or dealt with customers, the dialogue in this film is so sharp and so witty that you're so invested in these two characters, Dante and Randall. And that was the most fun that I had with this film, is the fact that even though this film is set in one location, you get invested with these characters because you really don't know almost anything about these characters. That was so investing that when I started this film and I figured that it was going to be, I didn't think that it was going to be taking place in one location throughout the entire film, that it was so hard not to get bored with this film because it was sharply made, it was directed really well, and if you ever worked in retail or dealt with customers, this was going to be the most relatable thing. Apparently, Kevin Smith made this film while he was working at this same convenience store. So he would work from, I believe it was 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., which are long ass days. And after he closed, the cast and crew would come in and shoot, and then he would be up till about 4. He would get about 1 or 2 hours of sleep, and then he would go back to work, which, my man, very big props. And apparently this is the film that made Jason Reitman think that he would be able to make films. I really like the fact that this was all shot in black and white. It didn't bother me at all. There were moments in the film when I was trying to figure out whether it was daytime or nighttime. Seeing how they were shooting at nighttime, I was trying to figure out when the nighttime sequences were. This was just a lot of fun, and it was sharply made because this is a telling of a movie that looks like it was shot with a really, really low budget and not a lot of actors. You'll basically only follow Brian O'Harley, do apologize if I mispronounce the name, and Jeff Anderson as Dante and Randall. One works at the grocery store, one works at the video stores. Remember those days, kids? God, I miss the video stores. But you really enjoy the banter between Dante and Randall, and they bounced off very well. It's going to be very interesting to see them come back in Clerks 3, but their humor was so sharp. Apparently, originally, Kevin Smith wanted to play Dante, I believe. I believe it was either Dante or Randall. But all the humor was so sharp. It's very raunchy. It's really funny, and it's just the dialogue that gets you interested in these characters, because that is the thing that's holding this film together. And I can see how some people will not enjoy it, but for me, as somebody that has worked with customers, relatable, loved it. But I can see why some people will not love it. The humor might not work for some, but it definitely worked for me. It was the introduction to Jay and Silent Bob, and I really enjoyed this film. It was a lot of fun, and just seeing the chemistry between Brian and Jeff was so much fun. Seeing kind of what they deal with, what kind of customers they deal with, was something that I seen before. So this movie was not that far off on how people actually ask questions. Some really stupid questions, but this is probably going to be the most relatable film that I've ever seen in my entire life, because I've worked with customers. This feels like it's not just a film made for people that have dealt with customers, but there is an underlying tone about maybe not blaming somebody else for your own mistakes, because there is a moment in this film where the two friends are bantering back and forth about how Dante doesn't want to be at the store because it's his day off, and he gets called in because he has other things he has to do. Has a hockey game that he has to get to, but he can't because he is working. So eventually he closed down the store for about first period, but apparently they only had one ball. So when a customer goes up to the roof to complain about why they're not open, then they lose the ball and the game is over. But there was really something deep about not always focusing on being at work. Sometimes if you get called in, you can say no. The world won't end. The store will not shut down if you're not there. And as somebody that has picked up so many shifts and is still picking up so many shifts, that kind of tugged at the heartstrings. I really enjoy that. Under a lot of the humor, there really is so much heart to this film that I think will go unnoticed for some. And I really enjoyed the living hell out of this film. I have no idea why I've never seen this film before. If you have dealt with customers and you have never seen Clerks, go out and buy it, because this is a really sharp and funny film that I wish I would have seen before I started working, because I think this would have prepared me for how stupid some people are, me included. I'm that stupid customer that people see sometimes. Definitely go out and buy this film because it is so funny, it's sharp, it's witty. I'm not sure if they have a physical copy, but if there is a physical copy, you bet your sweet ass that I'm going to go out and buy myself a copy, because this film was so sharp. This was Kevin Film's first directorial effort, and he absolutely crushed it. It was a lot of fun, and as somebody that has never seen any of Kevin Smith's films, it was a lot of fun seeing this film. It was really sharp, it was really funny, and I can't wait to see Clerks 2 and Clerks 3. Have you guys checked out Clerks 1 or 2? Are you excited for Clerks 3? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more videos. Click that bell notification so you get notified every single time a video pops up, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.